Says it's waiting or setting up. Okay. This is new to me. Done redirecting to Facebook. Okay. Yay. I'm ready to see that I'm live, guys.
We're on live.
Oh, we are? Does it say it in the corner?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Gracias. I'm like, where is the notification? All right. So, hola, muy buenas noches a todos. Soy Tasha de Tasha Teaches Spanish y esta noche tenemos una invitada muy especial, Cornesha Tweede. Perdón el sonido, es mi hijo. My child's in the background. Sorry, everybody. But muy buenas noches a todos. Tenemos una persona muy especial esta noche, Cornesha Tweede, de Tweede Teens. Did I have that right? Tweede
yes,
Teens.
Perfecto. Sí.
Muy bien. Okay. All right, guys. So very happy to have her. Was connected with her thanks to Latanya Bynum. She is a great connector,
yes.
Great individual to know, especially in the realm of public health, but in any area really. So gracias, Latanya, if you're watching this, for the connection. And so Cornesha's been great, giving me advice on how to make it through a master's program I'm currently in. And so I would be, is it remiss or miss? I would be wrong to not include this series. All right. So if this is your first time watching it, last week we interviewed Janae Jordan of Little Rock. And so ultimately the Hablamos Español series exists to recognize and highlight African-American women who can speak Spanish fluently, because oftentimes there's a deficit of us in Spanish classes, courses, majors. And then if we are in there, we're in there and we say it's too hard or we can't do it. So ultimately the purpose of this is to encourage and let the world know, but it's even our own, let Black folks know, yes, you can learn a language. Hablamos Español, we speak Spanish.
Yes, we do.
All right, so hola, bienvenidos, Cornesha.
Gracias, lo aprecio muchísimo, gracias.
Gracias a usted. Okay, so the order of the questions, número uno, es una introducción de ti en español y ellos van a adivinar qué tú estás diciendo. Y más tarde, al final, tú vas a decirlo en inglés. All right, guys, so she's going to give her introduction in español. So this is a good time for you to test your skills. And at the end, she'll introduce herself again in English, and you'll see if you got it right. So take it away, Cornesha.
Muy bien. Hola a ustedes, ¿cómo están? Me llamo Cornesha Tweede y soy dueña del negocio, se llama Tweede Teens. Y había más cosas ahí en la lista. ¿Tú vas a hacer las preguntas?
Oh, sí, perdón. Sus pasatiempos.
Me gusta bailar mucho y también me gusta hacer ejercicio.
Okay. ¿De dónde eres?
Yo soy de Riverside, California. Es el sur de California, más o menos cerca de Los Ángeles.
Okay. Su familia, si usted tiene hijos o alguien en su familia.
Bueno, en este momento no tengo hijos, pero me gustaría en el futuro. Y mi mamá es de Chicago y mi papá es de Sierra Leona, África.
Oh, okay. Número 4, su trabajo o trabajos.
Ok, sí. Ahora mismo yo enseño español en la Universidad de Oregon y también soy como traductora también española. Y además, de vez en cuando también interpreto en diferentes clínicas y hospitales.
Ok, muy bien. 2 preguntas más. ¿Qué usted quiere ser en el futuro si sea diferente de lo que haces ahora?
Bueno, no es diferente en realidad. Quiero continuar con los trabajos que estoy haciendo en este momento.
Muy bien. Es una buena señal. Que usted. Okay. Número 7. ¿Su canción latina favorita o cantante latino o latina favorita?
Eso es muy difícil.
Ok. Favorita, no, pero una canción o cantante que le gusta, te gusta.
Bueno, me gusta, las canciones como cristianas me gusta mucho. Se llama, ¿cómo se llama? ¿Cómo se llama no me acuerdo el nombre de la artista, pero...
Está bien.
Ok, está bien, lo siento mucho. Quizás yo voy a recordar más tarde, quizás.
Ok, está bien. Ok, ahora, La entrevista, las preguntas. Oh, in English. We can stop now. I forgot. I was going to keep going in Spanish. So hopefully for those of you who've been watching, you understood us. You made an effort, even if it sounded a little strange. You were like, I don't know what they're saying, but did you try? Right? Because most of us realize, don't realize we know more Spanish than we realize. We just have to try and jump in. So hopefully you caught a few things. If not, she's going to give her introduction at the end, and you'll be able to see if you got something right. Okay. Now, so let's start at the beginning, Cornesha. Why did you decide to learn Spanish?
Honestly, I mean, I started learning Spanish in high school, and I know this is most people are probably listening here, and most people, I feel like, particularly in the United States, started learning in high school. And from high school, I really took a liking to it and a passion to it, and I started to dream in Spanish and things of that manner. And then going into college, I initially majored in biology, pre-med. And my first year, that didn't really work out. Then the following year, I was talking to my mom before I went back to school, and she actually told me, like, why don't you get back in Spanish, something that you liked? And I got back into it and really started understanding that it was like a God-given gift.
I like that. I like that. Because that's what I usually say. Like, people say, how did you learn Spanish? The Lord, because I started off as a class dummy. So if I could learn, if I could learn, anybody could learn. But I do want to acknowledge people who are saying, how do you, I don't know if you see them. There's somebody named Mary Young.
Oh, that's watching. Hi, Auntie Mary.
Tori Gatson.
Oh, hi. How you doing? Oh, wow.
And then Latoria Clay. Hey, Latoria.
Hey, girl. Hey, Tori. Uh-oh.
And then Grace Gordon.
Hi, Gina. That's sister, right there. Okay. Oh my God.
You have such good supporters. Look at you. Okay. All right. And thank you to the other 13 people who are watching, or 11, 13. And you all are welcome at any time to type a question. I'll catch it, so you can know more about Cornesha. I'm guessing this is your mom. What beautiful gifts.
Is it Mary Tweede on there?
Yeah.
Mary Tweede, that's mom. Yeah, that's mom.
That's what I thought. Okay. Thank you, Miss Tweede. All right, let's keep going. But we'll be talking, or I'll be checking in with you all soon. But yes, feel free to drop a question if you're curious.
Make sure you say this. Okay. You probably got some Spanish listeners too.
Good. That's great. Okay, next up. How did you learn the language? Was it on your own, through a university, a program, friends? I think you gave a bit about that in your history, but just in case there was something else, what all was involved in your learning or acquisition of the Spanish language?
I would say so, high school learning, and then also from my community, particularly in, so I was raised in Moreno Valley, California, and it's predominantly Hispanic or Latino and Black. So around the neighborhood, I would speak Spanish, and they would be looking out for me to kind of help me with my Spanish. So community members, I would say, really helped me a lot. And then transitioning to university, of course, and then I had the opportunity to study abroad in Spain. So I believe all these particular contexts really encouraged me and helped me learn the language, actually.
Beautiful. Where did you live in Spain?
I was in Valencia.
Oh, okay. I went to Valencia, Barcelona, and Madrid. Isn't Valencia kind of like low key and it has a beach?
Yes,
and,
exactly.
and a large carousel.
A carousel.
I thought just kidding. Maybe the carousel wasn't there, but I remember the beach. and like alongside the beach, there was like a festival market type place.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, get my places right. I lived in Murcia, in the south, and it was nice, real small town. I lived in Buyas. Hey, if anybody's looking for Buyas, and I enjoyed it. But I did end up visiting Valencia, and out of that trip of Barcelona, Valencia, and Madrid, some of it got mushed together. So I was trying to identify the right place. So, all right.
No.
All right. So good. Beautiful story. Next up, how do you keep, which I think for you, this answer may be obvious, but it's on my list. So how do you keep the language fresh and keep your skills sharp?
Oh, that is such a great question. I just want to preface this with, although I learned a language, I feel like I've acquired the language. I don't toot my own horn or think that I'm better than anyone. So I definitely take time. Yeah, I definitely make sure I take time to continue to study. So I'm currently a intermediate Spanish instructor at the university, and a lot of the grammar structures that we learn, I'm also refreshing my memory as well. So I use those times when I'm teaching them to also teach myself. And then of course, I also teach Spanish with my business as well. And I believe that even the different type of material and lesson plans that I bring to my students, I make sure that I'm well aware of what I'm teaching. So it's also another time for me to refresh. So I really think that, and then in addition to that, I'm a part of a Spanish speaking ministry actually. And I'm actually the only Black person in the ministry, but I'm also the liaison between that ministry along with another English speaking ministry. So I'm the liaison between the two. So I'm constantly speaking Spanish on a daily basis. So I think those are ways that I try to keep it fresh and sharp.
Good, good. Yeah, I did notice that you're in a Spanish speaking ministry. I saw it on Instagram. But I think I tagged you on Instagram, which I'm like, oh, she's on here. Let me, just go through. And
yes.
I saw you had on some nice yellow clothing.
Oh.
And whatever you were saying, you were serious about it. So. Yeah, so I am aware, but that's good. I found it, and I'm glad you made a really good point on pretty much the teacher can become the student as well. Yes. When you're teaching, you want to make sure you're teaching it right, so you have to freshen up. So that's good. When I was a Spanish teacher in a high school for 1 year, and I felt like I lost some of it because when I was teaching regular high school students, Spanish 1, and you're teaching the baby Spanish. So now I will say that, and everybody has a different approach. Now, some Spanish 1 teachers come in and just do it all in Spanish, but that just wasn't my approach. So with my approach of using more English, I felt like I lost it, but I got it on back. Okay.
You got it on back.
Got it on back. All right. Next up, what was most difficult, which since you had it in the community, this may be a little different for you, but we'll see. What was most difficult for you when you started learning the language?
That's an interesting question. I mean, because I know it wasn't a confidence level or feeling courageous to speak. I wouldn't say that was my difficulty. I think my difficulty was particularly this is a very specific grammar structure. Like I had difficulties with direct and indirect pronouns as well as reflexive. Oh girl, I'm not even gonna get into it.
Tasha, I'm still oh. It depends on the day for me if I know it or not.
Or the porta para. Oh my God.
Or the sentence. It depends. And I finally think I've gotten it a little bit, but then don't let a student ask me. I'm like, look, baby, I just it came through osmosis. You just but I understand. I do.
Yeah, because when we talk in English, I feel like sometimes we can put the direct or indirect object pronoun towards the end, which is fine. But when it comes to Spanish, when you have one conjugated verb, you got to put it in front of the conjugated verb. And sometimes I'm still thinking about the conjugated verb, and then I'm trying to put the indirect or direct after. That doesn't. Sometimes it works out, but in a sentence, not like in a command. So.
Mm-hmm. And for me, I don't even think about the indirect or direct object in English. So. Transferring that over, it's
it is challenging.
Yeah, so I get it 100%. I can agree with that one. All right. Is there anything that is still difficult for you about the language? Which may be the answers you just gave, but aside from that, is there anything that's that's always been an issue for you? Reflexive, indirect, direct, but is there anything that's this is still a problem?
Honestly, I would have to say, well, let me say this. I would say one thing that maybe is not as as pressing or urgent, but something that I do still fight with, and I know probably every English speaker that learns Spanish probably deal with this as well. The variety of expressions in different countries and different Spanish-speaking contexts. I think I'm still not that it's anything that we're taught. They're taught certain expressions that's said in Costa Rica, that's said in Mexico. But I think that's one thing that I still find as somewhat difficult in my circles of speaking Spanish, wanting to, what is the right context to use this particular expression that is only used in maybe one Spanish-speaking country. And then how do you explain that to your students? And then, and then how do you not privilege certain expressions rather than others from different Spanish-speaking countries? Because students also catch on to that. And it can also create a worldview towards certain Spanish-speaking countries. That is just big for me.
That's good. I never really thought about that, especially the privilege of it. So to clarify, meaning oh, they say it this way in Colombia, but that's not really right. It's better to say it this way. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly. And you know Spanish. A lot of Spanish teachers will do that.
You know what? I haven't had that before.
Okay.
All I had was in my, first in my undergrad, the teacher said, look, I'm not gonna worry about teaching y'all vosotros because they only say that in Spain.
Right.
I had that, but other than that, no, I don't remember anybody saying this. They'll just say this is how they say it in a certain country and not critique it.
Good.
But that's great that you are aware that is done and you're working to not continue that.
Right, exactly.
Yes,
Yeah, that's one difficulty I would definitely have to say. Still working on.
Okay. Next up, how has learning Spanish benefited you in general, professionally, personally, maybe even in ministry? How has Spanish been, or maybe the ways? I'm sure it's several ways. Like, what are different ways in which Spanish has benefited you?
So you kind of already addressed them already. And so honestly, in ministry, it has opened so many doors. And this is probably a common thing. I've met so many different people from different backgrounds, and this language has opened up doors that honestly, just knowing one language wouldn't have opened. So I'm grateful for that. And I've also made some long-lasting relationships also with knowing the language. And so I'm also grateful for that. So specifically even in the ministry context, but also personally, as a Black woman, particularly in the United States, I think that it has really provided me, opened up so many doors. If I were to sit up here and explain them to you, places and contexts that I probably should have never, ever been, Spanish opened up that door and kind of provided that uniqueness that they were looking for, maybe. So in so many ways, it has opened up doors and professionally, of course. A lot of what I do now, I'm currently a PhD student and I'm studying Spanish, Portuguese, and African studies. So with all of these opportunities, right, with the language of Spanish, doors have just been open for me.
Good. That was nice. Felt that in my heart. Okay, next up. Now, well, I know my favorite question coming up in a bit, but this is a good one. This is personal for me. People, from my experience, they automatically assume that you're going to easily make a whole lot of money being bilingual. People, when I tell them I speak Spanish, oh, you're making that big money. And so I know everybody has a different definition of big money. So let's just say $100,000 plus. In Arkansas, $100,000 may not be a big deal somewhere else. Okay.
Arkansas.
So have you found this to be true? Just because a person's bilingual, they're automatically headed to the money?
I have not found that to be true. I do think that it does bring another element, another uniqueness. There are particular positions, of course, that provide an additional incentive or an additional, increase in salary if you do speak the language. However, I have not found it, particularly me, I personally have not found it to be the immediate key to big money.
Yeah, me either. I mean, maybe, and I'm trying to think, like, maybe if I was an interpreter or translator, or they say court interpreting is pretty prestigious. Like, maybe I'm just in the wrong field. But so far, it wasn't like I got my Spanish degree. Ta-da! Here's $100,000.
Not at all.
Okay, all right. Next up, now this is definitely personal for me as well. And Janae mentioned I had a similar experience. We connected on this question. But we'll see your answer. How do Latinos respond when you start speaking Spanish? And I know you can't, I can just make it generic, but are there any occasions where it was a good response and not so great response, just in general?
I have gotten both. I would say I've gotten more appreciation from the Latino population and communities with speaking Spanish. However, I have dealt with, and I'm going to be very particular here, Latino women have really, I've had a problem more with Latino women, I would say, with speaking the language of Spanish.
And what's your opinion on it? Because I noticed it, because of course when I first learned, I was excited. I'm like, I'm gonna talk to everybody. But after a couple attempts, a couple of them not going so well, instances, I understood, okay, it's don't just automatically do it. So what are your thoughts? From my experience, I just assume they think I'm trying to not acculturate, appropriate, I guess, or like take their culture. Like, why do you think sometimes the response isn't good? What's your opinion?
I agree with what you just said. I think that that's such a hard question to even tamper with right now, only because of the current climate. Because it's, no, not in a negative way, but just people, it's almost like taking this, taking that, taking this. That's not yours. That's not mine. And when I think about this language, I mean, we know how this language came about, right?
Yes,
in different Spanish-speaking countries, Spanish not actually being the language that they're speaking initially, right? So when I think about the language, honestly, I think it's because they think that we're taking this from them, since some of their communities have had things taken away from them. And come to the United States and seeing us speak it, and sometimes they're running away from it, or sometimes they're trying to acculturate to, the United States context, that sometimes it seems like there's this tension going on.
That's good. And let's clarify for viewers who may not understand, but I'm gonna try to explain. If it's not good enough, let me know. But what she was mentioning, guys, is that Spanish isn't indigenous to Latin America, it's indigenous to Spain. And so when the conquistadores, I think that's right. So the pretty much, colonizers, they left Spain and they went through Latin America and colonized, just like, it was done in a lot of different places. In Colombia, Venezuela, all those places, they had people who were originally there, they spoke their language.
Right.
But what we speak now is, I guess, kind of similar to English, a language of a colonized group or a colonizing group. So just in case nobody understood what she was saying.
That was good.
Okay. Thank you. And great explanation on that question. All right, next up. Now, so the opposite kind of sort of. How do other folks respond when you speak Spanish? So Black people, European Americans, people who aren't Latino, aren't of the group.
I have gotten a lot of good responses. Well, let me say this: I've gotten a lot of surprising responses, and I'm not sure if that surprise sometimes is always genuine or not. And I think I saw the little like comment you put or caption you put under one of the videos prior, and it was like, oh, you're the Spanish teacher, like, oh, I didn't know that I would have a Black Spanish teacher. I have, of course, experienced that plenty. That
was last week. That was with Janae.
Yeah, last week, exactly. So I'm on board with that too. That has occurred so many, especially when I'm interpreting. I think the most I've seen with faces and expressions in my face and gestures is when I'm actually interpreting in a hospital, and they look for their interpreter, and I walk in, and it's almost like, who is the only Black chick standing on the floor? How is she the interpreter for today? Like I said, sometimes genuine, sometimes not. It depends on what service I'm actually doing that day, I would say.
Okay, very honest, very honest. And back to our viewers. Hey, everybody who's watching, muchísimas gracias. We have here Cesar Silva.
Hola, ¿cómo estás? Yay!
We have Earl Watts, which I'm pretty sure Earl is one of my Facebook friends, so thank you, Earl. Oh. And then we have our mutual Facebook friend, Latanya. She's looking.
Yeah!
Latanya, because of you, we're talking because of you, so muchísimas gracias.
Yeah, gracias.
All right, next up, this is going by so fast. Only a few questions left. What do you recommend to those who want to start learning the language? And so this is a generic question because people start at different levels. Some know nothing, some know a little, but I'm not even categorizing. Just generically, what do you recommend for somebody who wants to start wherever the starting point is, learning the language?
I think as far as starting, I think one thing that people should evaluate is, what are their goals? What are you looking for? Why do you believe this language would be beneficial to you and your family, your community, maybe in a professional way, in a personal way? I think that people should evaluate that initially once going into the language, because there are people that will be really excited about it and want to try it, and then they start to learn, and they maybe some concept they didn't understand, or maybe one word they didn't get, and they get like discouraged. And you want to have that form of motivation and goals in front of you so you continue to persevere.
That's good. So it's kind of like when they say you starting a business or whatever, find your why or remember your why.
Yes, exactly.
That's what I'm hearing. Okay.
Exactly. Find your why.
And that's a good point, because some people just want to do it because it sounds cool. Oh, I can speak Spanish. Oh, let me try.
Right.
But it's nothing wrong with being interested for that reason.
Right.
But if that's your only reason, you may not stay around.
Correct. Exactly. You need an anchor, something to anchor you.
I got you. That was a good point. Another person that said something. Bethany Allen.
Hi, Beth.
You're bringing all the guests tonight. This is great. This is great. Okay, next up. Is there anything else you want to add? A funny story? And if you don't have anything, I have a question that may lead to a funny story. But anything just within yourself you want to add before we go to your English intro and conclude?
I think just to add, I'm just honestly grateful for, first of all, for you inviting me to this meeting. But one thing I want to add too is when it comes to the language of Spanish, like, I know I mentioned it earlier, but I just want to emphasize how this has opened up doors for my life, that, and even my mom. So I have to, applaud my mom for what she's done in my life, because my mom opened up doors. She allowed me to, pursue this, degree and such, because there were some questions about it initially, like, how's this going to benefit you? Not necessarily for my mom, for other family members, and how's this going to be, of importance for your life, and
like, pretty much what you gonna do with a Spanish degree, like that?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Still hearing it today from people around, but I'm gonna keep that on the low.
Okay. Well, yeah, kudos to mom. And that's a good point. I'm glad you mentioned that, because your family, a person's family generically, really influences a lot of who we are and what we do, especially a good family.
Exactly.
Because for me, my mother and father are the reason I know as well as I do. I had an extra semester off in college. Well, no, I could have, because I finished the semester early technically. And I'm like, okay, y'all, I'm about to leave and go somewhere. And my dad's response was real funny. I'll say it in a minute. My mom's response was, Tasha, I don't know about that. See if you can, Spanish is your minor. See if you can make it your major. How long would it take? Because you finish it in a semester. I said, okay, mom, whatever. I told my dad, this was hilarious. My dad doesn't know anything. He knows to go to college. He just didn't know much about it. He didn't finish fifth, sixth grade, or maybe, junior high.
Got it.
So he always knew to go, but he didn't know, the rules. So I said, Daddy, I finished my stuff a semester early. I think I'm gonna leave. Finishing a semester early is pretty good. It
is really good.
I'm like, go me. Daddy, I'm about to leave and go do something. You can't cheat the system. You're supposed to go to school for 4 years. 4 years. You can't make it fly by. Stop trying to.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm like, I just kept explaining, Daddy, no, you it's about however fast you finish the class, is it?
You can't cheat the system.
It was very funny to me. Very funny. I'm sorry. My alarm is going off. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry about that.
No worries at all.
So potty training. Okay, but anyway, that was my funny story. But anyway, due to my mom and my dad, because even though my dad didn't know what he was talking about, it was a good idea to see if I could make it a major. So due to my dad and my mom, that's why I even know as much as I do. So kudos to you, Mama Tweede, Miss Mary Tweede. I don't know if she's made a comment. Let's see. I just see somebody, Grace Gordon, saying true. Thank you. Okay. All right, well, good. But you know what? I do want to ask you just on my own. I have 2 questions for you. Is it 2 or 1? Yes, 2. And then we'll finally finish up. I hope I'm not taking up too much of your time, Emma.
No, I'm here. I'm yes.
Okay, so I have 2 more questions. Then we'll get to your English introduction and we'll be out. Okay. Has there ever been a time that you heard somebody speaking Spanish and it wasn't such a positive conversation, or it was about you? Because some people say, especially if this about Asian language, I want to learn whatever language. I don't know if people talk about me. Has that ever happened to you? When you caught something like that?
Yes.
Oh Lord.
Okay. I was in Spain at this time when this occurred. I was near the beach in Valencia, and it was, everybody's out at night, and I was with some friends, and it was a Friday night, and I was the only Black person in the group. Mm-hmm. That's not like atypical, right? That's typical, essentially. When I was there, I was there 7 years ago. And we're walking past this group of boys, and I remember what did he say? He said something, but like negra. And that's all he had to say, because I was done after that. That's all he had to say. I'm so sorry, but that was it for me. I literally, now we walking this way, they're walking this way. I turned around with I mean, the neck and everything. And I know my friends that are with me, it was like maybe 4 of them with me, and they must have stopped so quick. And I stopped and I yelled at the gentleman and I said, "What did you say?" Of course I said, "¿Qué dijiste?"
Uh-huh.
And he said, "No, muy bonita, muy bonita." I said, "Oh, okay."
But you know what? Let me say this. That happened to me similarly, but I didn't confront the man because he was crazy. He was destroying everything, and he wasn't going to destroy me. But I asked, when I was living in Spain, I asked somebody, a Spaniard, about that word, and when is it a bad word? Because according to the lady, it's context.
Correct.
Is that not the, that not the case? Okay.
Yeah, that is the case. No, yeah, it is the case. Yeah, because I wasn't offended by it because I know that's the term, and I'm not necessarily offended, but I mean, just we're walking past, and that's the first thing you say. You know, what are you trying to communicate? So I had to turn around and say something.
Yeah. Okay, that's good. You were bolder than me, but I'm gonna tell you this: it did help me when somebody tried to rob me. I was in Barcelona. I don't know if you ever visited. But and I'm not trying to tell anybody don't go, but if you go, just
right out there.
Don't have no pockets. Just don't put money in your bra. Cause okay, I went and I've never seen. Once again, let's be clear to anybody who's looking and may think I'm trying to judge people. I'm not trying to put a label on anybody. Right. But living there in general in Spain and being in Barcelona, really going abroad. Let me not put it on Spain. Going abroad, right. I thought thievery or theft here was, a high level. It's professional level thieves abroad.
Professional level.
So 3 women, I'm on the subway. We're in Barcelona, just got to Barcelona. We're at the bus station. I go to the ATM to get some money.
Right.
Error number 1. So I get out quite a bit. So the person who was visiting me at the time, we go to the bus station, connect to the subway. I get on the subway, and on the subway, you can stand and somebody will stand next to you, because especially if it's crowded.
Right.
But this subway was not crowded, and a group of women stood right by me, cornered me. But I'm so green, it's not clicking. So I have my luggage in my hand. I have my purse on me. I did a body purse, so it could be close. The money is in a pocket within the purse, and it's a pocket with a zipper. So I'm just like, the women standing right here by me now, not looking at me, but they just casually standing as well. I feel a very slight brush on my right side. I look down, Cornesha. The zipper is unzipped on the purse. The zipper is unzipped in the pocket, and my money's gone. So thanks to knowing Spanish, I'm able to scream, "Donde está mi dinero?" And I'm looking at this one chick who I just knew took the money, or I think the woman right here. I said, "Donde está mi dinero?" The chick over here, Cornesha, drops my money. So they have been able to take my money, I guess, put it around. I don't know what happened. But fortunately, she dropped it, and that was still a blessing, because a real thief would have said what money or push something, right? So she dropped all my money, and then I feel like one of them was trying to, but she kept saying, "Sorry, so lo siento mucho, blah, blah." I'm like, I don't want to hear what you have to say, goodbye. So we get to our hostel. It's a good hostel, guys. It's not a raggedy hostel. It was nice. We get to our hostel. So we're telling the person our experience, because I'm sure we're shook, And she said, "Oh yeah, that's very normal here. We have a lot of immigrants and they can't find work. And if you, and here in Barcelona, you have to steal a certain amount to go to jail."
What?
Thieves know if they steal less than 700 euro is good, something like that. Less than 400. It was a certain amount. But anyway, I survived. I made it. So my point, knowing Spanish for you helped you check that man, and knowing Spanish for me helped me get my money back. So.
Okay.
It does help. You can catch people. You can catch people.
Okay.
And what was my other question? You mentioned your dad was from, you said New Guinea?
Sierra Leone.
Excuse me, sorry. Is that the name? Where does the name Tweede come from? I've never heard that name before.
Sierra Leone. So the last name Tweede is actually, so Sierra Leone was colonized by the British. So Tweede is actually like an English last name.
Oh,
English.
okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes, they're in London. Well, in London, in England, there's a Tweed River without the E at the end. So some of my cousins actually, they spell their names without the E at the end.
Kind of like Rogers with a D versus no D. Gotcha.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, guys, we're just about done. So if you were listening in the beginning and you heard about Cornesha, you heard her giving her introduction in Español, and you tried to catch some things, now is the time for you to see if you got it correct or not. So let's do your intro again. So take it away, and I'll ask you the questions in the order.
Okay.
All right, so your name.
So I said, hello, my name is Cornesha Tweede.
Mm-hmm.
What else? I think that's all. And then I said, I don't remember the questions.
Okay, pastime.
I like to dance and I like to exercise.
Where you're from?
I'm from Riverside, California, Southern California, which is more or less near Los Angeles.
Your family, who's all in your family?
Yes. So I don't have kids. I said I don't have kids yet, but I would like to in the future.
Mm-hmm.
I said my mom's from Chicago and my dad's from Sierra Leone, Africa.
All right. I asked you about your job or jobs, plural.
Yes. I'm currently teaching Spanish right now. I'm also, and I think I mentioned that I'm also I'm an owner of a business.
Mm-hmm.
3 things. I might say that at the beginning. And then I also said that I'm a translator as well.
Mm-hmm.
And a medical interpreter. Oh, Lord.
You got it. Your memory coming back. Okay, 2 more. What would you like to be or do in the future if it's different from what you're doing now?
And then I mentioned that everything, I would like to continue doing what I'm doing right now in the future.
Mm-hmm. And last one, which you said was difficult, but maybe you have an answer now. Your favorite Latino song or singer? And I say Latino, some people like Hispanic or Hispano, so
right.
You know, whichever works for you out there. But your favorite, either the song or favorite singer, or just one that you like, and you were trying to think of a Christian song, I think.
Yes. So I have the name. I think in the interview earlier I said, oh, I can't remember. Oh man, that's a hard one. But I do remember now. Her name is Cici Marquez. She sings Yeshua. I was saying I like Christian music in Spanish.
Mm-hmm.
So I like Yeshua, Cici Marquez. I think she originally actually sings it in Portuguese.
Mm-hmm.
And then the one that I usually listen to a lot and my congregation is aware is Ingrid Rosario.
Now, it's one woman on my Spanish YouTube page has been popping up. Does she do YouTube videos?
She does. Yeah, she has some YouTube videos. I don't think that she's actually like singing on them, but she does like the lyrics.
It's some lady. I need to look up her name after this. She does like full productions with like a group of women, and they sound real soulful. They sound like, I'm like, that sounds like home.
Real soulful. Oh my God.
Yeah, that's familiar. Wait a minute. Okay, but anyway, that's it for tonight, guys. Muchísimas gracias to everybody watching. Let me go through some of the names again. So, Tina, what's up? Oh, you like Suavemente by Elvis Crespo?
Yes.
That's a winner. That's a winner, Tina.
All day.
Errol, thank you for watching. Bethany, Money Heist. I think Bethany's comparing The Theft to Money Heist. The Theft I experienced. Yeah, it was like Money Heist. Earl said, sell your cruise. La reina de la salsa, good.
Hey.
I don't know who Jessica Porter is, but she said thank you.
Hi,
Jessica. Amanda Robinson says yay.
She's on. She lives in
Grace Gordon says gracias. Cornesha, you are famous. I only know 2 people on this thing. LaTanya and Earl. I don't know nobody else. Okay. You're famous. This is good though. So thank you all for watching. I just shouted your names out. And everybody else, Mary Tweede, Mama Tweede. And I can't say thank you to you enough, Cornesha. I appreciate you. Even outside of this, all the mentorship, guidance, help, bless you. Bless you. Thank you. So that's it, guys. Thank you for watching. Hablamos Español. Once again, may the world know, but especially African Americans know it is very possible to speak Spanish. It is not out of your reach, and many people within your culture do speak it. So learn today.
Yeah, learn.
All right, Cornesha. Buenas noches.
Buenas noches. Muchas gracias.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.